Welcome to part 2 of the Guide to Biogas Operations. This is a better guide to biogas operations based upon information received from you guys, everybody out there that's been commenting on the videos. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to update it because I think there's some important and relevant information that you probably might want to know or need to know. Come along with me, MrSealyp. Thank you for joining me for part 2, the better guide to biogas operations. Now, I said in part 1 there were some things I wasn't sure about. There were some things that I missed. I didn't follow my own rule, and I was really disappointed when I posted it and started getting comments in, and I suddenly realised what I'd done. I'm normally, when I do my testing, when I do my guides, I'm very methodical about going through all of the steps, and I thought I had been, but I missed one very important step because I took something for granted and I shouldn't have done, and that's the whole point of me doing the testing. And that is that on FS19, to use the biogas plant and to make any money from the biogas plant, you had to own the biogas plant. Now, obviously, there are on-map biogas plants. The 3 maps we start with a biogas plant. Now, as far as modded maps go, we haven't got any yet at the point of recording this, but further down the line when we get modded maps, biogas plants may be different. Again, that may require more testing for modded ones, but obviously you have to own the ones you buy yourself. So if you're going to add any in, you've got to buy them, therefore you will own them straight away. The ones that are on the maps already, you don't own. We'll go to the map and I'll show you in. So biogas plant here, not there, where are we? Here. The biogas plant 1 megawatt that's stand on the map, and there's one on Obeleron, and then there's a smaller one on Erlengratt. You don't own when you start. It's part of the production chain. So my assumption was, and wrongly it turns out, slow-mo pig, that you had to buy it to be able to use it. And that was wrong. I'll go back into this menu. We scroll down to our prices, and I'll go up until we get to the ones that are a bit more, well, I mean, some of the ones down there are relevant. So we need to go down to, we'll start with sugar beet cuts. If I go on to now, bear in mind I said don't own the biogas plant. On the stations for where you can sell your stuff, biogas plant is there as well as the animal dealer. So my chopped sugar beet, I can sell already. The biogas plant is a sell point. I don't have to buy it first to be able to sell products there. So that was the first big mistake I made, was that assumption. If we carry on down until we get to silage, again, there's a price there for silage. 328 is dropping, but it's a price nonetheless. That will fluctuate. That may go up. It may go up really high. You might get a great demand for silage there. That's fine. If we carry on going down to the other things we can sell there, we should get to, where are we? Manure and slurry. Both of those have a price at the biogas plant. So that was my mistake. You can use it as a selling point, which I'm going to show you in just a second. The other thing was the manure pit. Now, I did say about, I was using conveyor belts and I was doing it all very kind of realistically and that kind of thing to a degree. And there were a couple of comments. People said, well, yeah, but what about the symbol next to it? Because everywhere else where you've got that symbol, actually, yeah, it's not on this one, but for various different points, that's where you collect a product, whatever it might be, you collect the product. Can't you just collect from there? And I thought, you know what, again, I had made an assumption that you had to do it from there. You used to kind of back in, click on it, and it would auto-fill a trailer. Not always, depending on what you were on and what mod you were using, that kind of thing. So I thought, you know what, best show it. And again, if you didn't watch the first one, if you didn't watch my cows video, if you didn't watch my pigs video, if you want to get manure from your pigs or your cows, you need to use the manure heap extension. This is from the manure heap extensions set, not the manure heap silo. You want the extension and then it will work. And one of these can serve multiple pens. So you don't need to have one for each animal pen. If your animal pens are all fairly close to each other, you can get away with one. So yeah, if I now click L3, you can see it's going down and my trailer's filling up. So I didn't have to use conveyors, I don't have to use buckets, I can do it directly from here. Now this is based upon, let's say, emissions that I made comments that people made, and I did have a lot of people commented with various different advice and help and ideas, and thank you to everybody that did. And I often say that in the videos. I said, look, I'm not sure about this. Answer on a postcard. Stick it in the comments. Just let us know. And that's the whole point. It's about information sharing. It's about helping each other out. If one person leaves a comment, not necessarily everyone's going to read that. But if I can put up a video and I can reach out to thousands of people, then that's kind of, I'm the conduit out. That's how it all kind of works. It's information sharing. So we've got our manure here. I've got a trailer there with silage in. I've got a trailer with the other stuff, sugar beet cut, and I've got a slurry tanker down there with slurry in it. Now, like I said, I don't own the biogas plant. And on my previous video, when I owned the biogas plant, you get paid hourly. Not at midnight anymore, you get paid hourly. If you don't own it and you're just using it as a sell point, as I'm going to show you now, the trigger should come up, and as soon as I sell, we get paid immediately. Top right, we're being paid immediately for our product because it's just working like a sell point. So it's a massive difference from FS19 to FS22, is that you don't need to own the biogas plant to sell your products here. But that does come with a caveat. The caveat being, now we're going to see when we turn on the production chains on this, you don't get any digestate production. So I'm selling this as just a sell point. I'm selling to the biogas plant, really happy, I'm selling my silage, I'm making money. You will not produce any digestate. But you might not want digestate. You might be using another fertiliser source. So to pay out 1.5 million to buy the biogas plant, when you don't really want the digestate, you're not really that bothered, that's massive. And like I say, all off of one tiny emission, one tiny assumption, sorry, not omission, assumption that I made, and that's terrible. I don't know why it didn't cross my mind, but again, that's another reason why I love the community. I love the comments. I love the fact that something that for somebody else was sort of the glaringly obvious first step, oh, what about if you try it without buying it first? That didn't even cross my mind. There you go. So my slurry, I can sell. I'm being paid immediately. Actually, sorry, turn the engine off by mistake. Leave the engine running on that. And the same can be said for our silage and our sugar beet cut. Now I've just shown you the manure being sold in there. The other thing I wanted to share now, this is a fairly quick, like I say, it's an information sharing better guide to, you need to probably watch the first one as well for all the more in-depth stuff on this. But what we'll do is, back up here, sugar beet cut, I showed you how to do that on the first video. So if you're not sure how to cut your sugar beet, I do cover that in the first video. That's selling, we're being paid for that automatically and straight away. Now this was actually shown to me by Baron Papa. And again, it was something that I hadn't even crossed my mind. I hadn't thought to look, but I suppose in the course of fiddling around and trying out different things, I was saying about using buckets and using conveyor belts and all that kind of thing. Because here, at the one that's built into the map, we've got this raised platform behind. So that when you back up, it comes up with the trigger straight away and we can sell. The ones in the menu, if we go into our build menu, and we go to our production, and we go to, I was on factories, we go to our biogas plants. These three that you can buy yourself and place don't have raised sell points, so you have to get the product into the sell point. So I sell, buckets, conveyors, that kind of thing. What hadn't occurred to me was auger wagons. The new auger wagons, if we go into our tools menu and we go to, where are we? Our auger wagons section. We've got our standard auger wagons. And again, it was the assumption that, well, yeah, our auger wagons are auger wagons, aren't they? I forgot about all the new ones we've got. So when we come along to here, Hower, I always get it wrong. That one there, the SUW 5000, is a forage one. So that will take all your forage crops, and they've got the pipes out as well. That one is specifically for potatoes. That one and that one are both sugar beet, which is fantastic. Not chopped beet, but they'll do sugar beet. So that one there, if you load into it, when you want to then take out of it, we can. just tip normally. So when I back up, the trigger will come up, and if I do unload, back will open, and we unload, which is great on this one, which has got a raised platform. But if you haven't got a raised platform and you've got your full trailer load here, if I do pipe out, and then come around the other side, which will work for the other ones too. Oh, I thought it was going to work. That's interesting. Can I not just... Ah, that's... Right, well, okay. Well, to be honest with you, that's not a problem. Because I can... this one, because I don't own it, I can still use it as a sell point, but I do it at the top. But that will work, because I'm showing it on this particular biogas plant. Let's turn the engine off for a second. It will work on the ones that you buy yourself, which are raised, because you bought them, you already own them. So I suppose the next step to do is for me to buy this. Now this is something else I want to check on here, is because I put all these products in, that one's still chugging away with the sugar beet cut. So it's still got some left. Oh, has it reached its maximum? Probably reached its maximum. That can process. If I now buy the biogas plant, will I get access to all those products? Now it has worked on other... Oh, there's obviously a boundary right across that. It has worked on other production chains buildings. Is it a situation where the production chains buildings, anything you sell there, it will just log it as being in there, storing, then when you buy it, it's all there available? Or is it a case of you have to buy them first? So what I'm going to do, I'm not really making a lot of sense, am I? It's expensive, but like I say, you don't have to buy it if you just want to sell your product. But if you want digestate, we've purchased it. Yeah, all the stuff I've just put in is there. So we've bought it now just because I wanted to show you this next bit. But like I say, that first bit, it's a sell point. You don't have to own it. That's massive. Now I was hoping we would get the thing come up. That's why. Tip side. I don't tip side back. I never thought to check that. Tip side back. Tip side pipe. Right. Let's try it again. Let's go around and try it with tip side pipe. I just didn't have the correct. I think that's probably what it was. Again, for anyone that was going, well, it should have done blah blah. Nope. Seriously? There we go. Tip side pipe, put it on trailer. There we go. Actually no, because it's putting it into there. You know what I'm going to do, just to make this a completely fair test? I've now put everything I had in there into it. I'm going to place one of the other ones. I think because this one has got the two options in that you can tip in from the other side, or it's got the triggers that appear here, it's always going to go for that other trigger. It's going to go for this one over here, whereas if you place one, it's only got the one trigger, and so it's going to have to tip into that if you go for the pipe option. So as long as you've got it on tip side pipe, so just give me a second, I'm going to place one. I've got a little bit more silage I can grab. Yeah, got some more in there. And we'll try it with that, because I think that's probably what it is. And don't get me wrong, the auger wagon will still work, but it's just obviously not tipping where I thought it would. Okay, put some more in. So I say, what should happen here then is the pipe should well, we got there in the end. Maybe that's what I need to do on the other one. What a palaver. That's what I've said earlier on about a few of these different ones. Talk about make things complicated. Right, so I had to come into here. I had to activate it. They're not active, so they need to be activated. The same material's missing. I had the pipe out and it wasn't, nothing was coming up for the trigger. I had to actually, if I look, bring the nozzle up, it doesn't recognise the trigger. The nozzle has to be pointing directly at it, and then it comes up. Oh dearie me. Anyway, so I mean, to be fair, the auger wagon, this was an aside really. This was to kind of just show you that there is an auger wagon that do forage stuff. That if you're loading from a silage clamp into a trailer and you want to deliver it, then you don't have to have another set of conveyor belts here if you use something like this. That was kind of the point all along. Now, the final thing that I want to mention, the main thing was about the fact that obviously the biogas plant was on the map. This one, of course you own it, you've had to buy it to place it, but the ones that are on the map, they are a sell point initially, but you will not get any digestate until you own it, and then you can start producing digestate. But the other thing as well is, when you finish production, and this is important, when you finish production, so all of these, when they run out of everything, at the moment, they're saying they're active and they're running. It will charge you whatever it is per hour, like that's saying cost per hour 25, that cost per hour is 2. It will charge you that per hour if you don't deactivate it. So it may stop running, but if it hasn't been deactivated, literally put onto that, it will still charge you per hour. So just be wary of that. And I think that's the same with all production chains. If you leave them running, even when they run out of product, it will still charge you per hour unless you deactivate the actual operation to make sure it doesn't. I think that's what I wanted to cover. And I hope that adds more information to the previous one. So this is a better guide too. And it was only supposed to be short, but obviously it's gone a little bit because I was talking about the auger wagons as well. Hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.